the side of Vitality. I guess the only way, Shogun, is to find out what happens here is by watching it. So let's do exactly that.
Yep, so here we go then. These two are teams that just need to get one more win today, and then they qualify for our top 8. But Spaceman, I also feel like between these two orgs, this might be the most underrated rivalry in all of Europe. BDS, the team that... Oh, okay, I'll get to that in a moment. What?
Let's break this one down. Let's run it back. All right, Alpha back to the midfield, and Monkey Moon corkscrews it, and it's an own goal. It's just
that is a ricochet off a player into a ricochet off a player. That is about as unlucky as it gets.
What a way to start. What were you saying about the orgs and the rivalry?
Right, well, I was going to say, and I think it's kind of getting added to throughout this, that BDS as an org must hate the sight of Vitality at this point. You know, this is the org that came across when BDS were in their mighty run across RLCS Season X. All they had to do to cap it off was go ahead and win the final tournament. Something they've done so many times against teams that were nothing new to them, and Vitality went ahead and won. And that kind of ruined RLCS Season X for them, and now we come all of this time later. BDS, great rebuild for them. They brought in Rise. They should be the hotness coming into this split. No, we've got Zen, and everyone's paying attention to him instead.
Yeah, and Alpha still remembers that victory as well, and it was just credit to what Vitality had at the time. Again, the veterancy you had out of K-Dop and, of course, Fairy Peak. When it comes down to the changes that BDS have made, I think the favorites here for counterattack swings, their pacing has changed with Rise being into the lineup. I think he brings a lot of clutch factor to the squad they need in terms of just shooting and placements, but you go to Vitality and they make their own change. They bring in Zen from the ceiling, who's able to find double taps and hit resets like it's nothing. This is going to be a very long matchup between these two teams if Radosin and Zen are working upfield like this.
Yeah, but this is what Zen brings. He doesn't have to score off it. He just has to get everybody to start moving. Seiko ends up finding himself too far forward. Rise crept up with him. So miscommunication between those two players as to who was supposed to actually be going. And that left it more than open for Radosin to put it on in. Who will not want to be the forgotten one on this team. Hey, you know what, actually? Given that this is now a World Championship contending squad, I don't think he would mind if it led to a World Championship as well, because that is what this team now is.
Right, and that's the ceiling for both these squads, really. They can make the run. Vitality may be more favorites than others, but BDS made the change because they know that Worlds is coming up.
Rise did it because he thought this team was more likely over what he had.
Yeah, and that's the same reason Vatira went to Carmine. He thought he had a better squad there and a better chance. A lot of players from that old Moist roster and formerly Team Queso made changes because they wanted to make the run to Worlds. And now it's whether it comes to fruition or not. So far, it's worked out, of course, for Vatira. For Rise, yet to be seen. But Radosin, dangerous as ever, really stepped up his gameplay individually for this team.
So both teams sort of trying to capture the magic that Seiko brought in last season. I'm sure Seiko would like to recapture the magic that he had last season as well. A lot of people starting to question where he went. The first two splits that we've had. We know that the talent is there. We know that you can take over a lobby. He has been showing more and more of that. Maybe a bit more comfortable with this roster. Rise moves in, off the backboard. Seiko hits the crossbar, almost hit the post as well. Good opportunity for BDS, but you need to take them.
It's good placements, though, from Rise. Instead of playing it towards the backboard where the numbers were there for Vitality, he played it low to the near post and just forced a challenge, fly out to the midfield, tried to follow up. Like the ideas from BDS early on, keeping the pressure at that midfield. The litmus test now is whether or not they're able to bully the numbers off the goal line. As Zen's handling the pressure, Monkey Moon on the back pass, but Rise flips it high and plays it on his own. The Seiko in transition, awkward touch, but still made it work. Don't know how he redirected it towards the top post, but off the top bar, it clangs and into the opposite side.
Yeah, Seiko got a slight misplay from what he was originally after, and it worked out nicely. It's very fun to see how that often works. Then you try to go for the reset off the car and then get it off the backboard for the double. But hey, the fact that you are capable of that and your opponents know that you're capable of that, then you have to respect it. And also cause its own problems. Alpha with time. Has he taken a little bit too long to set up? Maybe so. Teammates not around to support. Monkey Moon jumps early. One goal each. Rise. Pass two. Where's the next one up? Seems like even BDS were a little shocked that he managed to get the ball that far, and he's still going.
And this has been nice plays from BDS.
Wow.
They were cheating up to follow Alpha when he was rotating with possession. Don't let him get upfield for free and then collapse through the corner. If you're going to force a double commit, try to win the 50 as well. Rise does it, plays it low to the turf yet again, 2 times on the swing on offense. BDS have worked through the Rise touch, and it works out. They spread the box, they clear house, and Monkey Moon, 2 goals to his name, and a lead for BDS.
Rise was adamant that they were scoring off that play. All right, you weren't there for my pass last time. You're going to be there for the second one. And Monkey Moon was there for it. So Vitality, who did not have the easiest time in round 1, they were forced to fight for it. Being forced to fight for it again, instead narrowly avoids being bumped. That's recoverable actually for Radosin. Has Alpha next to him, avoids being bumped by Monkey Moon. BDS just want to clear away their danger. They've done exactly that, and 40 seconds on the clock. Can they at least add to the lead? There's Seiko, and narrowly not there first.
Monkey Moon's touch? How did Monkey Moon get that touch? Just slow it back down for a chance for Rise. Yet again, the follow-up rebounds here from BDS are stellar in Game 1, and you're worried about that consistently for Alpha and Zen working through the corners. They have struggled to find those clears. Downfield, it's Radosin. The redirect to Zen, and he's going to catch it slow. Double commit on the goal line. Here comes Radosin, follow-up from Vitality, and it pinches in off the rebound. Another goal.
I thought the play was done. I thought this from Zen meant that there was going to be control for BDS. Instead, it's another one. And you know what? You can say luck all you want for that when it comes to the bounce. It's now neutral after that first goal went off 2 separate players to bounce on and off Alpha. And we get one more off the backboard. Well, who's going to be first to that? Radosin, he's on the breakaway. Seiko's there with him.
It's a big challenge. Monkey Moon just had to find the clear, but Rise will get that call anyway. Zen's going to catch. We've seen this before with space. Alpha waiting in the wing, gets it around 1. Monkey Moon goes for the cut, and Radosin falls up. Pitch off the backboard, dangerous as ever. Rise will play the clear and play it down for the kill. Into OT for Game 1.
I do think how huge this tournament is for both team seasons. Vitality are as good as a lock when it comes to getting to Worlds. BDS are still fighting for that, trying to undo the damage that's been done this season. But even Vitality, they've got a lot to fight for here. They want a top 3 spot. You don't want to add that extra week of work going through Wildcard. Turn up and enjoy your time and watch everyone else have to fight and claw their way through. Monkey Moon, that was not the best from him, but he's got nobody challenging. Down. Zen, well challenged. Radosin and Alpha both up. They do not want to see a blue card there first. And that was far too casual.
You got to worry about Alpha at all times. The immediate clear off the backboard, the follow-up, and a huge junk onto Rise, the only defender back for BDS. And it was a question in Game 1. When are Vitality going to break out of the pacification? When are they going to start showing the offense and find their rhythm? It came through the solo plays. It was Alpha and Radosin working the lower post to find that second goal to tie it up, and it's Alpha from his own backboard dunking it through BDS for the win in Game 1.
Rise must have thought that Alpha was going to land early and that you could just pop the ball over the top of him and then play the ball. Either way, he got caught out. Like, that's the only way of really describing that one. So Rise was everywhere. Rise was definitely the player to watch in this game. He caused the earlier goal to bring us to 2, I believe, at the time. But for Vitality, this is the result that they love to see. And, you know, more and more of this if they're still undefeated on this roster.
The biggest question just comes down to, again, like, can they weather the storm and counterattack? And the answer's always been yes, since we've seen this team of 3 come together. BDS had to essentially work overtime with Rise facilitating most of the offense upfield. But even with all of that, and how long it took for Vitality to put things together, the individual plays that they have are so good, but so is Seiko, who is turning things around late in the season.
Seiko's just there. I would love to have seen where Seiko... He's just there. He's just ready. The guy's already moving before the ball's even been touched. That is well drilled, well executed, and well off for the 1-0. And yeah, Zen, as good as you want. There's no mechanic that's saving you from that position.
That's the flow state Seiko can hit.
That's just said, yep. Rinse, repeat what I just said.
Don't you like the mirror match of game one with anything and everything going in here? If Zen's going to be up trying to clamp this one down, he's probably going to be the one scoring the goal as well. Tight game for Vitality. So again, you get a little bit of magic. You work overtime for BDS. Nice clear. And right back upfield, Vitality go and find themselves a tie game.
Off the kickoff, you gotta get. Oh, we're not having the exact same as what we had between PSG Tundra and us, are we? Otherwise, we're gonna get a 4-4. Yeah, let's just keep the goals coming, shall we? We've got a whole bunch more to go. Everyone strap in. We've got an 8-minute overtime coming. We're gonna start adding to it.
Dude, poor Seiko. He's got nowhere to go. It's not his fault. Alpha with a huge challenge that spikes it back up, and it was his credit to Radosin on the clamp that stalls the defense out. There's really not much you can do there defensively for BDS unless you're hoping for a lucky 50. Seiko tried, but just better offense all around. But off the kickoff, it's open.
I was joking!
You gotta be kidding, dude.
I was joking about the 4-4. You don't actually have to double commit in that side and go ahead and leave it open for Rise and then Zen. All right, yeah. Unfortunate for Zen. I think Zen just expects it to be on target, so he's trying to pre-jump. So I don't mind that from him. The double commit, though, yeah, that's pretty criminal. Oh, it's going to be another. No. Okay, no more. We just 30 seconds is all I asked for without us conceding another goal.
Hold on, Alpha. Wow, that is a ridiculous recovery midair. Radosin plays it, front box. Seiko, Alpha. Wow.
I think it was like 15.
Are you kidding? They have the collective height of a booster seat, and they are just styling on all of BDS.
I think Radosin just put the brakes on entirely.
Yeah.
Even got out of the car and just left and said, all right, it's fine. Seiko's going to put this into me. All right, so by my calculations, we have 3 more goals to score within the next 4 minutes. If I get this right, this is my best prediction of the weekend, and I'll then get nothing right for the next 2 days. Alpha reset. He can keep going here. Doesn't quite do so. Yeah, this is a weird one. I don't really know what to take from this, apart from both teams have very exploitable kickoffs.
I mean, it's been nonstop pressure right on the goal line. Like, we're talking the 1-yard line here for Vitality. They have capitalized. The kickoffs have worked for BDS. If they can just escape the pressure, they have a chance here. But it's credit to the boys in orange and how quickly they've been able to transition their touches back into setups for their teammates. Monkey Moon was another big one with no boost. And here comes Rise.
Nice low boost. Almost actually pinched it with Alpha. That was a bit risky. Seiko back forward. Radosin happy to just take control. And, well, BDS could have done with this continuing to be a wacky game for a little while longer. Now that they're down by 1, though, it's started to settle. What a clear by Monkey Moon, though. And that's so difficult to play. Well, it would be if you're not Vitality. That was fantastic. Just palm the ball onto a teammate that's on the backboard as well. And Zen will do the rest. So, yeah, great clear, great transition back. No real complaints from that entire sequence.
Yeah, and as chaotic as this game has been, I think it's going to get lost in a lot of people that these are just pretty expert reads from both teams. It
now that we're away from kickoffs, basically.
Yeah, now that we've gotten out of the monotonous grind that has been the kickoff mistakes, this is pretty even-killed Rocket League between both teams. This is what you would expect when it comes to the pre-jumps, and a lot of these reads on those passes, this is what you'd want. But it has been chaotic at times. That's why currently the score is what it is. Other than that, this has essentially been a draw at midfield as Radosin juggles, gets the reset, bumped off the play. But Zen is still alive into the corner. There should be resources for Vitality. The double tap available, but leaves it front box and Rise escapes.
BDS got away with that. There was a slight miscommunication as to who was supposed to play and how the pass was going to get back over to Rise. Rise effectively positioned himself for the ball and then saw the ball go skying away from him. Now Rise on the ball now. He's been struggling for boost. It's the first chance he's had with sub. That's Monkey Moon. He gets the bump. They need the follow. It's not there. Seiko realizing that he was going to be covered and didn't want to go for the third player commit. Now time is starting to tick away here, and BDS have been lacking for major opportunities. They're going to be lacking even longer because that ball's on their side of the field.
Zen is fighting tooth and nail for a touch. Seiko in transition does what he did prior in the start of this game, was looking for, again, another dangerous shot. Got it at least on its way. Radosin from the side wall. Wow! What a way to open it up.
Just want to have a look at the positioning overall. We've got all 3 players on the right-hand side from BDS. Nobody's got that touch covered. what a way to catch them flat-footed from Vitality, hurtling their way towards a place in our top 8. BDS have seen the opening frenzy go against them. Oh, it's about to get even worse. BDS collapsing for a 5th goal. Oh, dearie, dearie me.
Redosin does not get enough love in public, in the spotlight. What the team went through, Vitality in San Diego, understanding that the change was coming with Zen, everybody had to step up, and Redosin specifically, who has upped his game, recognizing that Alpha and Zen are going to require that. Defensively, offensively, Redosin has hit a new level, and what he does for this team as a facilitator, as a midfielder, and allowing Alpha and Zen to be the primary options, I mean, it just, you cannot speak highly enough about it. Through the corner dangerously, Alpha is trying to get a soft touch to caress it down into the goal. But a 5-2 lead's pretty good, and Vitality look like they're on their way to a 2-0 series lead.
Yeah, Vitality should not be dropping it from this position. If they do, it's either another level hit that BDS have not shown us to this point, or Vitality have put the controllers down a little bit preemptively. So that will not be the case. Zen wants to try and add to the highlight reel. As the time continues to tick away, it does look like it will be Vitality on triple match point. Everything going their way. The entire split. And this is a team now that many people were saying, okay, fantastic, you know, I just want to see a little bit more of a sample size. Well, the sample size that we've got at the moment is nothing but dubs. And they might be about to add another one. So, Leaf, I'm just going to come straight over to you here. We know what we've got here in our matchup.
Yeah.
What's happening elsewhere?
Well, some things, some Rocket League here and there, you know. Mostly across the board, we're getting some good close matches right now. We got tied Oxygen and Guild 1-1. They're also tied scoreline 1-1 with a minute left in their game 3. We got Team Liquid Moist. They're also tied 1-1 in their series. Moist is up in that 3rd game, though. Carmine Court was taken to a 2.5-minute overtime with PSG, but they did eventually win that match. And now it's 8-4 for Carmine Court. So, yeah. They're not happy about it.
Vatera was very upset with that.
Yeah, they're like, we lost the game earlier, and that's the one we give up, and now we crush her. But
remember like the games in the last decade where it was just like in the top left, Vatera will remember that.
A little text, it's a slog for Vatera. But yeah, no, good match is a reminder that if you want to watch these matches, we're only showcasing, of course, Vitality versus BDS here. You can go search for the category Rocket League on whatever platform you're watching on, and then watch your team streams as all the other teams are streaming these matches. You can get in the chat, cheer them on firsthand. So very exciting. But yeah, back to Team Vitality and BDS Shogun.
Yeah, for anyone that is wondering what's happening in that first lower bracket round, that gets held for the time being. We'll be jumping into that once we are done over here in the upper bracket. Which means, Spaceman, we get to bail before the really heartbreaking part of this tournament. That could be somebody else's problem.
Yeah, we've already dealt with G1 and currently PSG Tundra. We don't have to be around for when everybody else has to worry about their world spots.
Yeah,
we're fine.
G1's position is as rough as it comes right now, because we were mentioning earlier on about how it's kind of a race for that 6th spot between BDS, PSG Tundra, and G1. Now, the 6th spot is fantastic. I think that will get you over to World Wildcard. If you're 7th, you still have a chance. You know, Europe getting an extra spot is not out of the question. It's just not in your hands anymore. Right. 8th, no shot. Europe's chance of getting a 5th main event spot has already been and gone. That is eliminated. G1 are hurtling towards being that spot, which has no hope whatsoever. They need to pick it up in that lower bracket.
And that's why this weekend, maybe more than any other weekend so far this year, has mattered so much for points, is because you want to control your destiny. If you're in 7th, you have a chance. But if you're in 8th, you don't. Oh, that's in. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, well, we're back out. Sego made a save. All right, BDS's defense has stepped up. They recognize the pressure, the situation they're in, but the offense continues for Vitality, and Zen continues for Vitality. Alpha getting physical very quickly. It's been chaotic, but no goals scored as of yet.
Now, Zen takes his time, goes low, maybe a second touch that was a bit softer than he was after. Redosin has been steadfast right now. I do not think I've seen much of a mistouch from him in quite some time. And there it is. Zen actually got a little bit too close. Gave himself too much work to do. I didn't even know such thing existed. Is Monkey Moon now off the backboard? Who's there to follow? Rise wanted to. Seiko has already jumped, so he's out of the plane. He's going to take a while to get back as well. So where's the setup? Both teams. I'm not too sure I'll be overly happy with the last 30 seconds.
Somebody will be back. Yep, okay. So Zen actually made a nice play through the corner on the goal line, played it into the front of the box, which led way to a clear where Radosin was waiting. Nice heads up there from Vitality. Pressures upfield, Rise to the corner. Boost spawns up, so he'll get back into the counterattack quickly. And here's Alpha in a 1v1, leaves it wide, and Seiko plays it to the corner.
Great job from Seiko, immediately recognizing that he was safe, and that was open. And even Seiko's kind of shocked by that. Vitality don't tend to let the rotations lapse like that. I've got away with it, though. Monkeyman on the wall, does not want to turn. He's got Zen around him to avoid the bump. Monkeyman will rise. Seiko, reset to the corner. Can't get another one. Both teams just sort of taking it in turns right now, and is it going to be outplay or is it going to be misplay? That tends to be where these sort of games go.
If you're BDS, you're hoping it's not a misplay. For Vitality, you want the outplay. It's certainly how they got the majority of their lead back in game 2. Rise was looking for a better touch, but I like the idea. Seiko cuts into the lane. Rise will be the third man back for the moment. Zen is hunting, almost bumps his teammate. And here goes Rise through the corner. Radosin for the clear of the midfield right now as BDS try to make their march. It's just been one at a time, single file. They haven't had a lot of sustained pushes together. Here they go as Monkeyman slows it, but is somebody around? Yes, Seiko, not really. Again, the handling of pressure from Vitality is too easy.
Yeah, Vitality only had one misplay, and that is a smooth operator to get the pass over. Rise takes it on board off Monkeymoon, and that is as clean as you like.
There's no way to save that shot or to hope that it ricochets out. That is a perfect placement from Rise. And again, the reason they picked him up, because his placements and his shot selection are one of the best in the world. This is what he brings to the roster. Can they keep it going?
You just can't do it better. Right corner to top left bin. Really doesn't get better than that for you. It's what BDS will want to see, because after the weirdness that was the start of the last game, they really didn't create too much from the neutral play. They're the ones that were making the mistakes. Now they get to see Vitality have to try and chase them. Back down. Ooh, nice touch. Alpha looking for the backboard. Rise clears. He's got Seiko to aim for. Narrowly misses the touch. I think narrowly misses the play has been sort of the way to describe Seiko in this series. He's been there or thereabouts. Just hasn't had that 5% extra.
Yeah. Alpha, you got Zen in the corner. And that's open for a moment as Seiko does all he can defensively just to keep his team in it. They'll hold on to this 1-goal lead if they can for 30 seconds to play. Radosin, great pinch. Zen will track. Radosin's at the midfield, so the numbers are still up here for Vitality. They can expend a lot if they need to. Redirect's absurd, almost on the pass as well. The pre-jump there from Zen. Back to the midfield. Monkeymoon now contesting. Rise with the demo, so advantage here. Numbers in a power play. The boys in blue make their challenge. Seiko over 1, and a long clear from Vitality.
Monkeymoon back down. Just need to do exactly what Rise did. Zen keeps it alive, though. Needs some support. Boost total is mostly on Alpha, but he's not going to get a chance to play it. BDS answer back. Have to do it 2 more times, Lee.
That indeed they do, but it's good to see them get a win, in all honesty. I mean, you don't want any of these matches in the upper bracket to end up being stomps. Maybe first round, let's get on to second round. But from here on out, you want to see some close matchups. So it's really good to see it brought back, and you don't want just those 3-0s here. But a couple updates across the board. Actually, you know what? Let's go with the most important update right now. It's a shop update. We got our item of the day, by the way. Royal Crown Roasted Toppers in the featured shop right now. Check it out. Go check it out. Shogun, I know you'll like this one. You dress like a king. It's a nice little crown, right? I want to actually. You probably own one of these already.
Mate, I love getting crowns. I remember like at the very start of the game when it was just like, oh, okay, we're gonna give you like the silver crown. Like, no, I want the better crown. You know, when we're getting those as season rewards. So now I can just be a king. I don't have to do too much work for it either. So I'll take that.
You're not going to get a crown though for your predictions with the other EU folks. Maybe today.
I mean, I'm right at the moment, so
no, that's today. But again, it doesn't matter.
I'm
remember?
gonna keep the form going, man.
We'll see about that. I'll just give you an update on the actual matches here. We got Carmine Corp up 2-0 on PSG Tundra right now, but Tundra, if that ball drops in 2 seconds, they will be able to get a game off K Corp. Oxygen and Guild are in their game 3 with Guild up 4-1, so that potentially will be a game 5. Team Liquid versus Moist. Moist potentially ending this right now as they're up 2-1 and up in that 4th game, I believe.
Yep, and well, I've sort of just designated this segment as reasons why G1 are unhappy, as we just add one reason why BDS will be unhappy, but the loser of Team Liquid versus Moist could be waiting for G1 should they get past Monaco Esports. So, and Moist are through, so it's Team Liquid waiting down there. Oh, okay, so firstly, I really want to see that, and secondly, that means Cole and Stumpy are unhappy right now.
I'm watching them, I'm looking at them. For some reason, Cole looks happy. But he's just weird. Stumpy's arms are crossed, and he looks very upset. So I'll
okay,
do a little
he's
bit.
He's become a Sims character effectively for this.
It's probably making that noise.
I mean, you get like the 2 most mechanical teams in the region playing each other. First of all, congrats to Moist, by the way, for really winning a really impressive series against Liquid. But your reward is Liquid go to the lower bracket, and they're just going to decimate everybody. So it's going to be fun. I mean, I'm going to enjoy this. Liquid, Stumpy, and Cole have a very long day ahead of them.
Yeah, they gotta wait for that other round that we do have coming up for you after this series is done. If it stays as it is, this series will be done in about 4 minutes' time. BDS, they don't like that idea. They like Champions Field. I'm sure they do. We all love Champions Field. Seiko, all long clear. Zen's gonna have to backtrack a little bit. Does seem like they've really tried to hammer home that as the play on those long clears. Oh, and it actually has worked. Redosin wins the race. And this all comes from what we saw in the last game, Spaceman, where if those long clears come in, they don't do much with it. They just palm it to another player already waiting on the backboards.
Yep, and again, if you're going to give Vitality this much space defensively, like it's just it's an easy transition for Redosin. There's no contest. There's really nothing else he has to do except just make that pre-jump on the pass, and he does so. And those are the opportunities you cannot give Vitality. If you are BDS, you have to be better at continuing your pressure and, more importantly, trying to fight for those rebounds, because if Vitality get one double commit that leads to an up-the-gut clear, they're going to capitalize on it. If we go back to a 2v2 for the moment, we know what Zen can do in these situations. From the backboard, leaves it to Alpha. I like the call, but the BDS defense steps up. Never mind.
I like what you've just said right there is maybe the most dangerous part about Zen. Oh, that can't be an own goal. Go on, Monkey Moon, get there. There we are. But the fact that, you know, we're saying this aloud every single time. Zen can do this. The opponents know Zen can do this. That's in your mind. So when Zen doesn't even try to do this, what's happened to your positioning? You're gone, because, well, Zen could have done that.
That's the dangerous
horrible
part
conundrum to put yourself in.
I mean, it's the dangerous part of playing into the... If you want to play the demo game, we can play it, but you're going to have to deal with Zen or Redosin or Zen and Alpha, whatever amalgamation you want. We just saw what they did in the 2s tournaments. Like, you're going to have to play them on their own game and then go back to full strength and work in the spacing, which has not been BDS's friend in this series. Granted, their defense has kept them involved. The offense has not done so much of the heavy lifting, almost colliding on the rotation back. But Rise, again, with no boost, see if he can facilitate. He will. The Monkey Moon, it's a double commit from Seiko on Monkey Moon, so we'll see if they try to spread the field again. They will. Bounce touch, works out.
Go on,
not for the
go
moment.
on, they
Rise
deserve
follows
it.
in, and that's a moment for BDS you want back.
That was amazing build-up play, and it's gone downhill. Monkey Moon has to scramble, but just the soft touch infield to Rise. They got that in a previous game. Monkey Moon well positioned to react very quickly there. Zen goes low. Yeah, every single time we do see the slow play from Vitality, there's somebody charging up ahead of the player, trying to find these bumps, making life awkward. Well, times were bad trying to take on anybody on Vitality in a 1v1. Try and do it while you got to try and do dodgeball at the same time. Is that number 3? No, Seiko keeps it out.
Great play by Seiko. His adjustments on defense, and he heard it a little bit in the player interview on the content piece early before the series kicked off. Rise talked about BDS's defense. It needs to be better, specifically when it comes to the midfield. They've done just that. And Seiko, nice job parking the bus and not biting into the bait that Zen and Alpha were throwing at him. They're reading these touches and these opportunities from Vitality much more cleanly than they were in game one, but you can't really protect against that. It's just demos left and right, low on boost. The defense from BDS has to hold strong here.
Alpha just to himself. Every single one of these plays, not necessarily the quickest, but you're happy with that for Vitality. Kills time off the clock. Seiko looks for the hit, and that was well coordinated, but Alpha was already recovering. They found the shot, they found the bump, and unfortunately for them, they still couldn't find a goal, and there's a double commit as well. Zen just pops it in.
The cherry on top for a job well done for Vitality. Still a bit of time, but if you're BDS, it has not worked in your favor. And all of these chip shots, all of these small pushes for the offensive Vitality, all of the rebounds, all of the 50s, all of the congestion in transition kills time off the clock for BDS to find something back on the other side. And this continues yet again, where Vitality just have numbers. They constantly have somebody on the ball, the pre-jumps, the reads, the lead, a 3-0, and with that, a potential 3-1 series win.
I want to give a massive shout as well over to Redocin, because it feels like he keeps having those eureka moments in this series. Go on, get that one for yourself, Redocin. You deserve it. But there's been a few double commits that we've seen from BDS, and every single time that we've seen those double commits, they've been beat to the ball because Redocin just recognizes the play that little bit sooner than everybody else. He's been the one that's allowed Vitality to get the breakaways, especially when they're in a lead. And yeah, well deserved to get him on scoreboard.
It's just a bit of formalities here. Victory lap, GG's all around. Vitality handle their presence and handle it well here in the upper side of the bracket, and they will move on. So you're looking at teams like Carmine, Vitality need to have big weekends, looking to go back-to-back. BDS will have to start their run on the lower side of things as Zen closes this one out in very stylistic fashion.
So, do you want to know the fun part about all of this?
Yes.
BDS, I believe, are about to drop down into the Shark Tank when it comes to that lower bracket. I believe... Wait, have they avoided it? I'm not too sure. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. They're about to drop down with the G1 liquid side of things. And they've even got Devil Fruit or Sir waiting for them. So, yeah, that's lovely. I would not be happy with that at all.
Nope. No shot. Leaf, I mean, you can only hope for BDS to make the run, make it interesting this weekend, but this is a very important weekend for them. Granted, a tough matchup to start, but if any team could make a run that matters for points, specifically, you'd think it's BDS.
Well, maybe they should have won this one if they didn't want to end up down there.
Wow. Wow, Leaf.
Wow.
Hey, maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. Maybe the other teams on that side are looking and saying, "Oh God, we have BDS on our side." You know,
Sure they are. Yeah,
it's all about perspective.
I mean,
right?
I would say the big winner here, if this does work out the way I think it does, despite being, well, the losers, literally as we go on to them right there, is PSG Tundra.
Yes.
Because now they get to watch, they can keep going further and further, and they've got a while before they run into one of these style of teams. You know, they could be taking on Guild, they could be taking on Oxygen, but they already know that their nearest rivals have to, at the very least, run into each other.
Yeah. Well, we did see PSG Tundra drop to lower bracket, which means all our matches, but this one is complete. And it might be Guild that K-Corp has to face off again.
Of course it is.
They're up a goal right now.
Of course it is. It's always Guild. It's always this org.
It's always been Guild. They're going to win Worlds.
You can't escape them, Shogun. There's just no way it's happening. I hope you know this by now. Or Oxygen.
It's a very Guild thing. If there was ever a Guild moment, that they just actually go and win this event.
The whole thing.
I mean, they've done it before. There was that one time that, who knows who predicted it, apart from the entire European pre-show, that they went and won at the heat of the BDS, just masterclasses that they were putting on across events. And, just hit the floor. Just hit the floor. Summon your inner catalysm. You can do it. They've done it.
Wow. Oxygen, what happened, man? Oh, man, it's happening.
Wow.
Oh, there.
I guess. Again, we talked about this before, specifically. Shogun's like, there's like 5 teams I think are the top. Listed them. He's like, okay, maybe 6. And it's like, there's a lot of good teams at the top here.
Look, I was only putting it in terms of Worlds qualification. Guild Esports need to basically win out the entire rest of the season in order to qualify at this point. But for Oxygen, yeah, they'll be happy with what started their season. They're still very far away from that fight we've been talking about between G1, PSG Tundra, and Team BDS.
Well, that's it. Vitality, Moist, Guild, and a Carmine Court move on into the upper semi-finals, where they'll have their best of sevens later. We're done with them today. We move to the lower bracket after this break, and the match coming your way is going to be Monaco Esports versus G1.